What is the pestilence? I need answers. There's people that actually act like this. Generic intro and that goes Moo here, back with another SCP video, and today we're doing SCP-049 Plague Doctor, which I think the Plague Doctors were a thing during like the bubonic plague, I want to say, but it's another Volgun video. I believe this is actually one of his most popular videos. The last week's video was you do not recognize the bodies in the water, which I unfortunately do. I think it was SCP-2319, which is like a Monsters Inc. reference. You can check my reaction to that one, I'll leave it right up there. Also link down below in the description. Also in a playlist on my channel with all my other SCP reactions. Go to chronological order if you want to binge watch to all of them. Most of them are by TheVolgun. I've avoided other channels that people have told me to stay clear of because they're not very accurate with the stories, but I have thoroughly enjoyed all of the Volgun's videos so far, and there are some very scary SCPs out there. But this is going to be the Plague Doctor. A lot of people were saying in the comment section I need to check this one out, and also 2319 wasn't like the SCP isn't a reference to the Monsters Inc. thing. That just is a reference. But I'm really excited to hear about this and understand what it does, because whatever the thumbnail is of this one, it looks like it's like a doctor. So let's go ahead and jump on into it. And also shout out to the patrons. I couldn't do it without them. All right.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be studying today
is the Plague Doctor.
Is SCP-049. Object class, Euclid.
Okay.
Special containment procedures.
Safe.
SCP-049 is contained within a standard secure humanoid containment cell in Research Sector 2 at Site 19. SCP-049 must be sedated before any attempts to transport it. During transport, SCP-049 must be secured within a Class 3 humanoid restriction harness, including a locking collar and extension restraints.
Why?
And monitored by no fewer than 2 armed guards. While SCP-049 is generally cooperative with most Foundation personnel, outbursts or sudden changes in behavior are to be met with elevated force. Under no circumstances should any personnel come into direct contact with SCP-049 during these outbursts.
Why?
In the event SCP-049 becomes aggressive, the application of lavender, L. multifida, has been shown to produce a calming effect on the entity.
Why lavender?
Once calmed, SCP-049 generally becomes compliant and will return to containment with little resistance.
Just lavender, okay.
In order to facilitate the ongoing containment of SCP-049, the entity is to be provided with a corpse of a recently deceased animal, typically a bovine or other large mammal, once every 2 weeks for study. Corpses that become instances of SCP-049-2 are to be removed from SCP-049's containment cell and incinerated. SCP-049 is no longer permitted to interact with human subjects, and requests for human subjects are to be denied.
Yeah, I wonder how often it asks.
Containment procedure update. See Addendum 49.3. Per Containment Committee Order 049.S19.17.1, SCP-049 is no longer permitted to interact directly with any members of Foundation staff, nor is it to be provided with any additional corpses to be used in its surgeries. This order shall persist indefinitely until such time a consensus regarding the ongoing containment of SCP-049 can be reached. Description: SCP-049 is a humanoid entity, roughly 1.9 meters in height, which bears the appearance of a medieval plague doctor.
That's over 6 feet.
While SCP-049 appears to be wearing thick robes, and the ceramic mask indicative of that profession, the garments instead seem to have grown out of SCP-049's body over time, and are now nearly indistinguishable from whatever form is beneath them.
Oh, so it's a legitimate plague doctor.
Despite this, SCP-049 does have a humanoid skeletal structure beneath its outer layer.
How do you know that?
SCP-049 is capable of speech in a variety of languages, though it tends to prefer English or medieval French. While SCP-049 is generally cordial and cooperative with Foundation
thing cause the
staff,
bubonic plague?
It can become easily irritated or at times outright aggressive if it feels that it is in the presence of what it calls the pestilence. Although the exact nature of this pestilence is currently unknown to Foundation researchers, it does seem to be an issue of immense concern to SCP-049. SCP-049 will become hostile with individuals it sees as being affected by the pestilence, often having to be restrained should it encounter such. If left unchecked,
kind of mad scientist level stuff.
SCP-049 will generally attempt to kill any such individual, SCP-49 is capable of causing all biological functions of an organism to cease through direct skin contact. How this occurs is
now
currently
that's the
unknown,
bad touch.
and autopsies of SCP-49's victims have invariably been inconclusive. SCP-49 has expressed frustration or remorse after these killings, indicating that they have done little to kill the pestilence, though will usually seek to perform a crude surgery on the corpse using the implements contained within a black doctor's bag it carries on its person at all times.
Does it have a cane too?
While these surgeries are not always successful, they often result in the creation of instances of SCP-49-2. SCP-49-2 instances are reanimated corpses that have been operated on by SCP-49.
Huh?
These instances do not seem to retain any of their prior memories or mental functions.
You make
having
zombies?
only basic motor skills and response mechanisms. While these instances are generally inactive, moving very little, and in a generally ambulatory fashion, they can become extremely aggressive if provoked, or if directed to by SCP-49. SCP-49-2 instances express active biological functions, though these are vastly different from currently understood human physiology. Despite these alterations, SCP-49 often remarks that the subjects have been cured.
What?
Addendum
What?
49.1.
Make them zombies?
Discovered.
What? Cured of what? Like their free will?
SCP-49 was discovered during the investigation of a series of unknown disappearances in the town of Montauban in southern France. During a raid on a local home, investigators found several instances of SCP-49-2,
okay.
as well as SCP-49. While law enforcement personnel engaged the hostile 49-2 instances,
Somebody get the
SCP-49
lavender.
was noted as watching the engagement and taking notes in its journal. After all of the 49-2 instances were dispatched, SCP-49 willingly entered Foundation custody.
Okay.
The following interview was conducted by Dr. Raymond Ham during the initial investigation. Interviewer, Dr. Raymond Ham. Site
Well, it
85.
talks at least, so we get that.
Interviewee, SCP-49. Playing log, now.
Alors, comment devrions-nous commencer une introduction?
I took 3 years of French.
Is that French?
Yes.
Can we get a translator?
The King's English. No
Oh.
need for translation, sir. I can speak it well enough.
Good. My name is Dr. Raymond Ham, and I...
A doctor. A like-minded
No, I don't think
individual,
so.
no doubt.
Could be a doctor of philosophy.
Wherein is your speciality, sir?
Cryptobiology. Why?
A medical
What?
man, such as myself.
Cryptobiology.
Wonders abound. And here, I
What is
worried
that?
I had been abducted by common street thugs.
Oh,
This place,
high and mighty.
Then, this is your laboratory. I had wondered, as clean as it is, and with such little trace of the pestilence here.
The pestilence. What do you mean?
The scourge.
Pretty sure
The
it's thinking
great dying.
Gears of War.
Come now. You know the... what is it they call it? No matter. The pestilence, yes. It abounds outside these walls, you know. So many have succumbed, and many more will continue to.
And you're trying to
until
cure them
such
of that.
time as a perfect cure can be developed. Fortunately, I am very close. It is my duty in life to rid the world of it, you see. The cure to end all cures.
When you say the great dying, are you talking about the bubonic plague?
Which
I don't know what
isn't
that
it?
is.
Oh, well, I mean,
I see. Right, well, the entities our agents encountered at the house. They
Is
were
it
dead
something
when
else?
You encountered them. Yes. You reanimated them.
In a manner of speaking, you see things too simply, Doctor. Expand your
oh, he's one of these
horizons.
people.
Life and death, sickness and health. These are amateur terms for amateur physicians. There is only one ailment that exists in the world of men, and that is the pestilence, and nothing else.
What?
Make no mistake, they were very ill. All of them.
You think you cured those people?
So anyone that doesn't understand him is the
My
pestilence.
cure is most effective.
But the things we recovered were not human.
Yes, well, It is not a perfect cure, but that will come with time and further experimentation. I have spent a lifetime developing my methods, Dr. Ham.
How long is your lifetime?
A lifetime more, if necessary. Now, we have wasted too much time. There is work to do. I will require a laboratory of my own, one where I can
You just get
continue
this?
my research unimpeded.
God, he reminds me of something.
Of course, though I can provide those on my own. In time.
Oh, I don't think our organization would be willing to...
Nonsense. We are all men of science. Fetch your coat and show me to my quarters, Doctor.
He's gonna get upset.
Work begins now.
There's something that this reminds me of, like a show or a character or something
Interviewer's
that's like
note.
this.
While SCP-49 is capable of communicating in a very human way, there is a strange sense of unease that one experiences when in its presence. Make no mistake, there is something very uncanny about this entity, indeed.
Yeah.
Additionally, we've confiscated that pointed stick that SCP-49 keeps waving around. Part of this was due to standard confiscation protocols for the possession
Why
of
don't you
anomalies,
take it
and
before?
part because 49 really is a menace, swinging it around like he does. The entity was displeased at first, but after we made some concessions in providing it with test subjects, which are admittedly more for the benefit of our own research,
What were the
it
test
warmed up
subjects?
to the idea.
What were they this time?
Addendum
Just have cows?
49.2 Observation Log. While in containment at Site-19, SCP-49 has spent a considerable amount of time studying and performing surgery on the various mammalian corpses it had been provided. SCP-49 will routinely spend several days performing surgery, and then, regardless of whether or not the corpse becomes an instance of SCP-49-2, spending several more days documenting its findings in a thick
Oh, they gotta get that journal
stored within its doctor's bag.
Oh, they gotta get that bag.
SCP-49 will often seek to share its findings with members
Oh,
of
yeah, that's
Foundation
great.
staff.
That's good. Working together.
The following is a log of several occasions during which SCP-49 was observed operating on a mammalian corpse. Observational Log 49.OL.1
OL.
Summary. Subject, SCP-49. Preface. A test subject, D-85-123, was introduced into SCP-49's containment cell.
Is that a
The
person?
entity
They
expressed
sent-
sincere
Oh,
gratitude
God.
towards all members of the containment and research staff. Observation notes. SCP-49 began by
Yep,
asking
that's-
D-85-123
Yep, one of
several
these
standard
people.
medical questions as it began removing tools from its bag. Shortly after finishing its preparations, SCP-49 quickly closed the distance between the two, killing the subject with a touch to its throat.
Just a simple touch can kill it.
SCP-49 made a number of considerable alterations to the basic structure of the subject's corpse.
Like what?
Often introducing fluids from within its bag into the subject by way of a hand-powered pump and copper tubing. The resulting
What?
49-2 instance became animated, flailing and
What is the
grasping at the
fluid?
walls of the chamber with a number of manufactured limbs while moaning out of an oblong orifice now present in its sternum. During this time,
What?
SCP-49 was observed taking notes of the instance in its journal and remarking to the watching research
Bro just
staff
wants
about
knowledge.
the efficacy of its cure. Security personnel entered the chamber to move SCP-49 back to containment and were attacked by the instance. The security team dispatched the 49-2 instance, and SCP-49 returned to containment with no resistance, stating that it was pleased with the results.
Bro didn't put up a fight?
Observational Log 49.OL.2 Summary. Subject, SCP-49. Preface. SCP-49 was provided the corpse of a recently deceased goat. SCP-49 expressed gratitude at the provision. Observation.
It's just like a happy to get things. It's like, oh, thank you. An
operated
avocado.
on the
Thanks.
goat corpse for
Never
several
had one.
days, eventually resulting in an instance of SCP-49-2. SCP-49 expressed pleasure in this outcome, though admitted the disease was still in its nascent stage. My veterinarian practice is rudimentary, but the patient responded well to the procedure.
Okay.
Observational Log 49.0.
And he's doing this on mammals, obviously.
Summary. Subject.
There's some level of
SCP-49.
overlap.
Preface. SCP-49 was provided the corpse of a recently deceased orangutan.
That's really common.
SCP-49 expressed noted gratitude at the provision due to the similarities between the orangutan and common human physiology.
It's like, it wants people,
Observation notes.
but it'll settle for anything.
SCP-49 spends several days operating on the orangutan.
What do you mean
reanimating
days?
it
Why does it
several
take days?
times.
Oh.
However, SCP-49 appeared to be discontent with the results it experienced, returning to the creature 3 times after its initial reanimation for additional work. After it was unable to reanimate the corpse a 5th time, SCP-49 turned the corpse over to Foundation staff for incineration, stating, I have learned so much from this, though I fear my early optimism was misplaced. I hadn't yet come across such a stumbling block on my road to the cure. More subjects like this would do a great deal in advancing my research. Observational Log 49.0L.7. Full. Subject: SCP-49. Preface: SCP-49 was provided the corpse of a recently deceased bovine. SCP-49 expressed mild annoyance at the provision, though it accepted it nonetheless.
Why the problem with the bovine?
SCP-49 spent several days operating on the bovine corpse.
Yeah, you could probably spend days.
Only to dine on a requested dinner of thin crackers, salted pork, and hard cheese.
What is hard cheese?
First by embalming the corpse.
What did they do to cheese?
SCP-49 was observed producing a number of long syringes from its bag.
Is it an infinite bag of holding?
A different dark viscous fluid. SCP-49 described these fluids as essences of the humors, and elaborated by saying, the pestilence may bring about a systemic imbalance. In such case, before true healing can begin, one must find the humors in balance, or the body will reject the cure. Over the next few days, SCP-49 spent a considerable amount of time adjusting the organs of the bovine corpse with a number of large metal instruments. After 8 days, SCP-49 produced a lightning rod, which Dr. Ham exchanged for an electric cattle prod attached to an extension cord, and struck the corpse in several locations. This action seemingly had the effect of reanimating the bovine, which once again became ambulatory, despite the inversion of the head and reorientation of its limbs.
Why'd you have to change the limbs around? It's a bovine.
And this is a follow-up interview to the previous observation logs. Playing log now.
We've watched you work for several weeks now, and honestly, I'm not sure I understand what you're doing. Could you describe your process in detail?
Oh, goodness no. The process is most intensive. As I said to your assistant, the best instruction you will find about my methods are here in my journals.
Oh, well, can we have that?
Records of my work there.
Oh, I see. Well, my concern, Doctor, is that we still don't understand what you're seeking to cure, or how it manifests, or how turning these creatures into quasi-living, mindless drones helps in that effort.
Schizophrenia?
Do you not understand the pestilence?
Could that
Even
be
after
this?
all this time,
I don't know.
Doctor, it is an unspeakable horror, one that has shown its true face many times before, and will again.
Name one
I find
time.
myself blessed with the wisdom and good senses needed to root it out and destroy it. But many, like yourself, cannot. It is a cruel judgment, I fear, to be at the mercy of a disease you cannot fully comprehend.
I mean, maybe he's on to something. Maybe he knows something we don't.
How shall cure any kind of cure at all?
Maybe he's crazy.
It is a cure. You may laugh at my efforts if you please, but do not besmirch the good name of scientific progress that has developed this great mercy. What you short-sightedly see here is a life better than any this creature could have hoped for. Stricken as it was with the pestilence.
So death is better than pestilence?
Is now clean, unable to spread the pestilence, and free from the terror it would have experienced otherwise.
This is hardly a creature at all, Doctor.
Yeah, why did it change his limbs around?
Jape with me, sir. You and your colleagues are like so many others, unable to look past minor setbacks to see the salvation taking place before your very eyes. Do you wait to remove rotten timbers until the whole collapses on top of you? No. You find them and you pull them out and replace them with those untouched by rot.
That's
and
true.
Most of all, you do not simply mock the structure because it now looks different to you.
Ooh.
It is strong. It is free of disease.
I'm sorry. Didn't mean to agitate you. I'm just
Oh,
trying
you're
to
getting
understand.
upset.
Yes. Well, do mind your words in the future, Doctor. I am a professional, but even professionals
Are you?
may feel the bite of pride in dealing with criticism of their masterpiece. I will forgive this as an act of good faith between colleagues.
Is there anything
Okay.
else I can help you with?
No, that will be all. Another test subject on the usual schedule. You know my preference of subjects with more human anatomies.
Makes sense. But the orangutan, you didn't like
Attending
that.
researchers note,
Or no, we did, but...
SCP-49 does seem to genuinely want to help other humans, though it has not yet been able to provide a concrete example of what exactly it is trying to save us all from. I have watched it now for several weeks, and while the outcomes do not seem to ever change, SCP-49 continues to claim that it is growing closer to its perfect cure. I think the entity may be more aware of the reality of these outcomes than it would like us to think.
Wait,
Addendum
what?
49.3 April 16th, 2017 incident. Starting shortly after SCP-49's initial containment, Dr. Ham
The fact that I know
conducted a
people
number of
that
interviews
act
with the
like
subject
SCP-049?
regarding its anomalous properties, and over time began to note its displeasure with its subjects and SCP-49-2 instances. This continued for a period of several months, during which SCP-49 never exhibited any aggressive behaviors. On April 16th, 2017, as Dr. Ham was entering SCP-49's test chamber to conduct another routine interview, the entity began to grow anxious and asked Dr. Ham if he was feeling well.
Why?
Following protocol, Dr. Ham reminded SCP-49 that the interview was required, after which the entity became hostile and attacked Dr. Ham.
Bro just doesn't like being
killing
told
him.
what to do?
Due to a
Oh!
lapse in security protocol and because Dr. Ham did not activate the in-chamber emergency system, Dr. Ham's corpse was not discovered until 3 hours later.
Nobody was
by which
watching from the
point,
outside?
SCP-49 had converted it into an instance of SCP-49-2.
Oh.
In the aftermath of this incident, SCP-49 was interviewed by Dr. Theron Sherman.
I would not want to do those
Log
interviews anymore.
Now,
I need you to explain yourself. SCP-049, you are being directed to explain your actions, and I will remind you that failure to cooperate will result in further restrictions during your containment.
My actions do not need to be explained.
They kind of do.
Raymond Ham, and then butchered him until he...
Not dead.
He's cured.
No, not dead. He is cured.
Cured? Cured of what?
Pestilence, sir. I had thought you, at least, would realize what luck it is.
Is this Pyro from TF2?
What pestilence? You keep going on and on about this pestilence,
Oh, Sherman?
but you have not once been able to properly identify this disease.
Sherman, you're...
What could you have possibly seen in him today that you had not seen so many times before? That it would be worth his life?
The pestilence presents and progresses in unforeseeable fashions.
That's not an
It's
answer.
a queer way of creeping into the unprepared. And call it what you want, Doctor. It was a mercy I did to him. He is cured.
He is a vegetable.
He's still alive?
I would not expect you to understand.
Oof.
You and your ilk have proven time and time again not to be men of science, but men of emotion. You cannot appreciate the horrors I have seen.
Appreciate?
Those millions who have succumbed to the pestilence and been changed.
Your cure cost Ray his life.
No, good sir, I have
Oh.
saved it. You would allow this world to slip back into the despair of disease and death, ignoring that I have created a miracle. And
What disease? What pestilence?
Oh,
He
God.
was a healthy
You
man.
are...
He was a good doctor.
I'm
You're gonna be
offering
next,
it
Sherman.
freely to the afflicted. You are not worth this argument, sir.
Oh!
You are short-sighted and foolish. Dr. Ham was sick, and I cured him. I am the only one who can do this. My work must continue. There is still so much to learn. So much
What have you been
to
learning? Everything's been the
understand.
same.
Your allowances
Can be
were
saved. Even you.
Welcome to Containment, 049.
Might be saved.
We're done here.
I can save them all. I can cast down this plague once and for all.
What plague?
I can do this. Only me. I saved. I saved him. Dr. Ham.
I don't think he did.
I cured him.
No, I don't think he did.
He was sick. I know he was sick. I know he was. And you are all sick, but I can save you.
Oh no.
I can save all of you.
There's
because
people
I
that actually act like this.
am the cure.
Addendum 49.4.
What do you mean by that?
Post-incident report interview. The following interview is an excerpt from the April 16th, 2017 49 incident report. The interview was conducted by Dr. Elijah Itkin.
Probably
and
good
took place
Sherman's
3
not there.
weeks after the start of the initial investigation. Playing now.
SCP-049, we are conducting this interview to close out our investigation of your actions taken on April 16th that resulted in the death
That's a pretty
of a
quick
staff member.
investigation.
Do you have any comments to make? Only that I look forward to the day when you will allow me to resume my work. I have spent the last few weeks compiling my notes and constructing a new theory for how the pestilence was
Share your
able to
notes.
affect someone in such an insidious manner that I nearly couldn't detect it. Have you experienced any remorse for your actions?
No.
For the death of Dr. Ham?
Well, I thought he wasn't
Oh,
dead.
yes. Well, the death of a colleague is always regrettable. But in the face of the pestilence, we must be swift, Doctor, and act without hesitation. Dr. Sherman noted in his report that you seemed to be mournful during your initial interview. Mourn? Perhaps. I had not thought that. It is lamentable that a fellow doctor became infected, but the work continues. Regrettable
What?
as
I was just say, oh well.
as it
Anyway.
was, Dr. Ham's death provided important insight. Living human subjects are the only way to proceed forward, I am decided. My cure is of little use on dead flesh, and I have gleaned all I can from your generous supply of corpses. My desires turn towards tending to those still living who suffer
You want
from the disease.
living humans.
I'm afraid
Bro,
you're going to
crazy.
be disappointed. Oh, Doctor. I wouldn't be so sure.
You are in containment. What?
Okay. I think that about does it for today.
What?
Thank you all
What does
for
it?
listening.
What does it do next?
If
What's
indeed
its
you
plan?
still are, and you're all
What is the pestilence?
Goodbye.
I need answers. What?
Hi everyone.
Hi.
So before the Patreon thank yous, I would like to thank people that contributed to this video. All of the links to their YouTube channels or their respective websites will be in the description. So I encourage you to go and check
believe-
them out because they're all great.
Well,
Number 1 was
I hear
Sharon
that happens.
from
I
Site
can't hear
42.
anything right now.
Number 2 was Dr.
was
Sumerian,
showing you-
voice actor and author. Links will be in the description.
Oh.
DJ Cactus was the guy that was responsible for the rewrite. And finally,
Oh, he's worked on other stuff,
Gabriel
hasn't he?
Jude, who was the original author of SCP-049.
Which
If
is
you
an
visit
early
the
SCP, isn't
wiki
it?
page for SCP-049, you will find the logs that you've heard in this video. And this was a pretty big deal for me, because this pretty much means that my take on the 049 voice is canon.
Oh yeah, but yeah.
And that is awesome.
That
man.
is cool.
It's a really good feeling. I've been voicing this character for, I don't know, like 5 years now.
Wait, he's been
to be
voicing
officially
049?
part of the document as the voice of the SCP.
That's
It's just
cool.
great. Again, all links in the description.
That's a pretty big moment.
Everything.
Yeah, I don't really
and
think I get.
everyone who helped with
It almost
this video.
happened again.
And that's everything.
We only have
So,
descriptions.
I'm going to thank my patrons now. Goodbye.
Yeah, shout out to the patrons. I couldn't do this without my patrons. I
I would like
say
to
that.
give a special
I mean
thank
it.
you to Andre Bichert, Muslim Wookie, Jax Merrick, Pierce M. Hamlin, Austin Thomas Aldrich, Desmond Haskins, Dips McGee, Dr. Mortis,
Where are we? Oh.
John O. Porter, Cody Tench, Tyver Ball, and Psi 7 Actual.
Sigh. Oh.
If you would like a special thank you at the end of each of my videos, and some other cool stuff as well, visit patreon.com/.
And this was like 6 years ago.
Thank you.
6 years ago is actually when I started my Patreon. That's when I started reacting to videos as well. Fun times. Fun times. So this was SCP-049. I saw people recommend this one in the comment section of last week's video, which was 2319, because, well, I do recognize the bodies in water. Apparently it's a part of a bigger thing, which is like Class of 76, I want to say is what it was called. And there's like a whole bunch of SCPs involved with this one graduating class for a high school, which is certainly something. What in the world is that though? I don't even know. Based off of this story, that doctor does not seem like that one, but I mean that one actually seems pretty legitimate, just in a dark room at a table. That does seem like SCP-049. This is a great video. I do look forward to whatever the next one shall be. I hope you're subscribed. We are so close to 100,000 subscribers. Also, likes are always appreciated and actually really important. So I do read our comments. Leave them down below. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. But until next video, take care and key to music.
We were